the gem, I believe that is that, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. Okay. All right. And Elder. Okay. Okay, so let's start. Good evening once again, everyone. We had about 13 registrations for this meeting. I'm sure some will join a little later. So, but we're going to start right ahead and then learn what we can within the next hour or between hour and a half. So what is this training essentially about? What we want to do is to see how we can reduce the cost of doing business by learning skills that will help you do a little bit of branding without spending too much, without always having to pay someone. I know that we are familiar with something like Canva, but some people may find using PowerPoint more flexible, as I will show you shortly. So before I go deep into it, just like to introduce myself a little bit and tell you a little bit about why we are doing these sessions. Now, my current job is in IT. Okay, I'll let me meet someone who joined. If you're not, please mute yourself when not speaking. When not speaking, please mute yourself. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. All right. So, my current job role, I work as an enterprise architect. And what we basically do, and can you hear me? Please mute yourself when not speaking. Yeah. What we basically do is to evaluate new solutions that come into our environment and determine whether they are fit for purpose, determine whether they are they match the needs of the business, what technology you're going to use to implement them, whether they align with our governance practices, and so on and so forth. So a little bit of diverting that skill set along with my experience in IT to evaluate other people's businesses and see how we can apply certain pillars to those businesses. The first pillar is customer experience. The second pillar is digital transformation. The third pillar is basically the use of small digital transformation. And the third pillar is and the third area which I develop the trainings on. So these three areas, basically, I'm trying to see how can I bring in the practices that are in large corporate organizations and deploy them into small organizations and help them to enhance their practices. And this is what basically these trainings are about. And what you see on the screen is basically the background on which the experience, the knowledge, the trainings I'm using to try to do this work. All right. So I'm going to also talk about a little bit about the intended audience. Who is supposed to attend this training? Anyone in this particular one. In this case, what we're doing here is social media for using Microsoft PowerPoint as a graphics tool. Anyone who wants to save money on digital branding. These days, when you brand your business, you don't necessarily have to print anything. You just have to publish online. And if you can create something sound that is publishable online, you probably do not need a special graphics person. And we're looking at freelancers, people who probably want to use this skill as a business itself. It's possible. We're looking at startups, people who are just starting out in business. They don't want to spend too much money on core. And also looking at existing small businesses that want to leverage these skills to make sure they are advancing their business. So this is the intended audience. Some people are very much skilled, or they have a lot of money. So they may not need this, but some people do need it and want to deploy that training. You're welcome, Elder Precious. You're welcome, Herman. Glad to have you here. All right. So we move on. I've already done an introduction of myself. I've tried to highlight who this training is for, and we're going to look at the agenda. The way I like to deploy agendas is to see how I can make it as practical as possible. So here we're going to use a scenario. We're going to use the scenario of a gentleman called Kwabena, and he's a middle-class professional, and he's moving from a 9-to-5 job to business, and he's launching his food delivery business. He needs 3 critical graphics for his business, and we're going to demonstrate how to deploy those 3 graphics and then use them on his Facebook page. That's basically what we're going to do today. So at this point, we're going to go over to our actual practical slides, and we're going to do what we need to do today. All right. So in the first case, let me just show you what we're going to do first. Sorry about this. This is not part of the template. Okay. Yes. So before I get into that, we're going to look at 3 key tools we'll be using. The first tool is a tool that helps us get very special fonts. I'll show you what it is. I'll show you right now. If I click this. And that tool is basically a website where you can pick up very nice looking fonts. It's called dafont.com. So you pick up this font, you can use it in any of your office tools, including Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, dafont.com. The other tool we need to see is a website where you can pick up free photos. These days, if you want to really keep on the legal side, make sure you're not using people's photos that did not permit you to use those photos, you want to use free stock, which an environment like pixels.com gives you. For example, if I just want to find photos about food, if I want to find photos about food, I just do a search, and I can find a lot of nice photos that I can download for free and incorporate into my design. So, and then of course, you also need one more thing. You also need this website, which helps you convert pixels to centimeters, because when you do a graphic design on PowerPoint's layout is typically in centimeters, but you need, when you develop graphics for online social media or websites, typically the measurements are done in pixels. Pixels is the smallest unit of measurement for graphics. So you need these 3 basic tools to be able to put them together with PowerPoint in order to develop sound graphics. And all of them are free, as we can see. So at this point, I just want to ask, is there anything I've said that is utterly confusing? Is there anything that is not clear, so that we can move on from here? If there is, just let me know. All right. So you can, if you notice at the bottom of your screen, there is a feature to raise your hand. Okay, great. Uncle Felix knows the feature. So please tell me what is the issue. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. The things you mentioned, I thought you were showing us, but I haven't seen them.
Can anyone see my screen?
What I am seeing is using MS PowerPoint as a graphic design tool. That's a screen that is showing.
Oh, that is interesting. Can anyone see the supporting tools screen? Maybe it's, I think it's just slow. Can anyone see the websites right now? Let me know.
No, I think it came on, but then it's gone off again.
See,
Okay,
Kenneth.
Okay, Herman.
No, I can just see your. No, I can see your face.
You can see my face. Okay.
Not just face.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'll just stop presenting and start presenting again. Welcome, Emmanuel. My entire screen, presenting second screen, share. Okay. So what is it like now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we
Still,
okay
I
now?
can see your face. No,
Okay.
still is your face that I'm seeing.
Okay. GDM, you raise your hand. Is it the
Okay.
same?
Okay.
Yeah, I can only see your face. I can only see your face.
Okay. Are you using a phone by any chance?
Okay. Now I can see some shoes and bags and.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That is unitconversion.org, and this is dafont. Can you see dafont.com?
That font, yeah.
Okay.
I can
Can you
see
see?
support.com, yes.
Okay. Can you see pexels.com?
Yes, I can see some nice food recipe.
Yeah, that's pexels.com. All right. So does anybody, okay, so I now know that Enoch can only see my face and GDM can only see my face. Who else can see only my face? Who else? So can everybody else see the screen that I'm sharing? Okay, who cannot see the screen that I'm sharing? You can raise your hand, let me see. Who can see the screen that I'm sharing? If you can see, raise your hand. You can see my screen. Everybody can see my screen. Who else? Okay, if you can hear me, raise your hand. If you know how to raise your hand and can hear me, raise your hand. If you just pass your mouse to the bottom. Yes, GDM can raise it. GDM can hear me. Who else can hear me? Just raise your hand if you can hear me. Others can hear me. Okay, to raise your hand, if you pass your mouse to the bottom, there'll be a kind of like a pop-up, and you'll see the options to raise your hand, to turn off your mic, etc. Just you raise hand. Okay, I think some people might still be finding it tricky. Okay, Herman can see my screen, or can hear my voice rather. Herman, can you see my screen? Herman just raised his hand. I'm trying to confirm whether it's my screen or my voice is confirming. Enoch, are you using a phone? Enoch and Jidem, are you using a phone?
Yeah, I'm using my phone. I'm using my phone.
Can you try to change the view on your software, on your Google team? Just check to see whether another view. I'm going to try to join on the phone as well to be able to guide you. Sorry for this delay. You should be able to change the view on your phone so that you see more of showing, more of what I'm showing than my face. Elder Precious, can you see my screen, please? Can you see my screen with the food on it? Yes? Okay, let me see. I'm testing on my phone right now. I'm just testing quickly on my phone. Yes. So what happened? Yes, good.
Did you hear me? I said I can see your screen very clearly.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. All right. Now, if you see that can you see the Emmanuel just left? There's a bottom at the bottom line. You see where you have an indicator to that Kenneth is showing his screen. Can you see that, Eno?
Okay, let me get my laptop. I think it will make more sense.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
Let me just see if I can.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll just do that quickly. Just try to
so let's continue. Yeah.
It's important that we all catch it. Yes. So now, I've shown you 3 key tools that you can use to combine with Office PowerPoint. And most of us are already familiar with PowerPoint. So we're just going to dig right into it and do a few things. I'm just going to show you now what we're going to create. The first thing we're going to create is this simple logo. It's a very simple logo, but is it a good start for a small business? Let me ask that. Is it a good start? No opinions. Tell me whether you think it's a good start for a small business, this logo, or you want something, you always need something more sophisticated. I can hear, okay, great. Yeah. So if it's a good start for a small logo, we're going to go ahead and create something like this. I'll show you how it all works out. So this is our rough, will I say, let me call it our rough paper, if you wish, where we're going to do the creation on PowerPoint. And the first thing we need to clear out here is, typically, if you want to do a logo, you want it to be square shaped. So you need to ensure that the size of what you're going to create has the right dimensions. And what I typically use to do that, if you, on PowerPoint, you're able to design your interface using of course, the design menu on the menu bar. In this design menu, you can pick a whole lot of things. But what is of concern to us, because this is not a training about PowerPoint, this is a training about creating graphics. And the first thing we want to do is to create a logo. To create a logo, we need our slide to be shaped square. So what we basically want to do is to have a square shaped slide. So we go to slide size, and then we decide that we want a square shaped size. I can pick any size I want, but I want it to be big enough so that the quality of my graphic is rich. Now, I typically, because it's back to a session, I typically would use the longer width side and make it the same size as the breadth rather, and make it the same size, the width, and make it the same size as the height, so that I eventually get a square slide. Then I maximize that. When I maximize that, I'm able to see the whole. Now, this is what I did before, but we're going to start all over again so that I see so that I show you how it all works all from the start. So what I have now is a square slide. Are we comfortable with how I got to this point? If you're not comfortable, you can raise your hand and let me know. So we have a square slide now. Now we want to develop a nice looking logo for this Kwabena guy who owns a business. And what we're going to use is, we're not even going to get a picture from anywhere. Of course, you can, the limits of what you're able to do with this is sometimes the limit is basically your own that PowerPoint already has to create this logo. So the first we're going to go to insert. We're going to pick up the icons button. In the icons button gives us a wide range to do whatever we want to do, and typically is searchable. So it makes it very nice that it's searchable. So if you want an icon that looks like something you are familiar with, you can search for it. Here, all we want is, let's say we want fruits, right? We want fruit, so we can pick up a number of fruit from here and add it to our logo. Remember, I showed you the logo we want to arrive. You can make adjustments along the way based on your suggestions. So I pick this fruit icon, right? And then I pick up banana. So I pick up these four, and then I use them. That's the four that I'm going to use to make my logo. Now I have this. All I have to do here is to increase the size. Remember, you want it to be large enough. Sorry about that. I went too far. I hope you can all see my screen. Just wave your hand again if you can see my screen. If you can't, please call out. Just keep following. We want to make it big enough that when we do modify the size, when we put it up, we are going to have something expand this. Now, I want you to notice the red lines that appear whenever I move, whenever I resize the shape. What happens is if I resize the shape, it can tell me whether my shape is the same dimensions as the other icons that I have on this page. If you notice that between the apple and the pawpaw, I have the same size. Then I check the banana, and then I want to have the same size as the rest. And then the grapes, I do the same thing. Why? Because I just want the dimensions to be right, and I want them to sit very nicely in between. Now, they sit very nicely with each other. Now, I also want to do something else. I can highlight this, and I want them to be aligned. There is an arrange button. This is still under the home menu. There's an arrange button here that I can use to say, I want to align you. I want to align you in the middle so that it just aligns perfectly. I want to align this, the bottom fruits in the middle so that they align perfectly. And then I want to align them vertically as well. I want to align them vertically as well. So I go this way, and then I do the arrange again. I align vertically, align center, and I align center. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so it's aligned. And then the fourth alignment, I do that as well. So align center. So now that I have them perfectly shaped, I can make some adjustments. Maybe I want to bring them closer together. Just use my arrow keys to bring them closer together because I want to put in another shape there. I want to put in a shape called a circle so that it begins to resemble what I showed you earlier. Now this is an oval shape. To make it a circle, I have to click on it, and then I hold down my shift button and I draw a perfect circle. Now when I draw a perfect circle, I try to make my circle, remember the red lines I mentioned earlier? It's telling me that my circle is at the very center of the slide. You can see the red line going diagonally and horizontally. So my circle is at the very center. Then I basically I still want to see my fruit, right? So I go to the details of the shape in the shape format. Once I select it, if I take it out, I don't see the shape format on my menu anymore. When I select this shape, I see the shape format. I want to change the fill. The fill is the color inside the shape. So I want to change the color. I don't want it to have a color because I want to see my fruits. And I want to make the outline thicker. So I select the outline weight, and if I select the 6 point, it doesn't look too good. I want it thicker than this. So I go forth, and I want to make it even thicker. More, this is weight, more lines, and it brings up a whole new format shape menu where I can do a lot with this particular shape called the circle. And I basically want it to be, let's say, 50 points wide. I type 50 there and press enter, and I have a round, nice shape there. What color do I want it to be? Maybe I want it to be a blue. I can leave it at the blue, but I want to change the color of my shape. Notice that my banana is touching my circle. So I want to move all the shapes. Remember, I've already aligned them. So if I want to move them, I need to move them together. I need to move them together so that the alignment that I have done will not be distorted. So I move them together so that they are centralized within my circle shape. And I give the right colors that I want. Graphics format. What field that I want here? I want it to be a red color. That's standard colors, red. Yep. I want this to be purple. I want this to be, this is purple, so maybe an orange. Okay, I want it to be orange. And then I want, is that an orange? Maybe I'll make it a darker orange. Let me make a darker orange. So I go to more fill colors, right? And then I select a darker orange. Yeah, I think I like this one. Okay. Yep, and then the banana is a yellow. well, maybe yellow. Yeah. Or I don't like the yellow. I think I prefer the light orange. Okay, so I now have something that looks like a logo. I can add a little bit of, I want to say welcome to those who are joining us. Yes, thank you for joining. It's recorded, so you can see later, but one of the things we try to drive is appear early for meetings. All right, so I want to do a little bit of the fizzy. In Nigeria, we say a fizzy, that is a little bit of skills, showing skills, you know. So I just add some graphics formats. For example, I can decide to put an effect here that allows the little shape to have a shadow at the behind it. I can decide on the size of my shadow. It gives it a nice look. A shadow at the back. Yeah, consistent shadow. I hope that's coming out right. Okay, shadow behind it. Okay, I can do some other things with it. For example, like I can change my mind and I just decide I want the shadow to be this way or this way, and yeah, it gives it a solid look. I can even do a bevel shape so that it gives it a solid look if I want, but I don't want that. That is not suited for this case. So I just use the nice shadow here and forget about the bevel shape. Bevel, no bevel, yeah. Okay. And then the same with all the other four inner shadow effects, inner shadow. Okay. All right. So I feel there's too much space in between the fruits, so I'm just going to reduce the space. Either I reduce the space or I increase the size of the fruits a little. And I increase. Remember what I mentioned about the size, that when I'm increasing the size, I need to watch that they are all the same size. So that's done. Okay. No. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's cool. So for the sake of those who are coming, I'll do the alignment again. So I want to align these two shapes to make sure they are, this is too big. Yeah, this is too big. Good. Banana. No, this is good. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Everyone is the same shape now. I hope you've noticed that. You've noticed the cross lines, the vertical and horizontal lines that tell me that's about the same size. All right, so then I do the alignment again, just because I have changed the shapes and moved things about a bit. I do the alignment, arrange, align, center. Arrange, align, center. That's for vertical. For horizontal, I do arrange, align, middle, right? Arrange. I hope you're noticing those that are selected. Okay, good. Then let me move them apart just a little bit. 1, 2, 3. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, so yeah. So we can spend more time trying to fine tune this. What the important thing is for you to pick up what you are able to do with the tool. The rest, your eventual outcomes is now a matter of your creativity. So I hope I've been able to show you a few things you can do with this. So all we're doing is creating a simple logo for this young man who is trying to create a food delivery business or a fruit delivery business. So I'm going to, how do I now get this to be graphic? All you can basically do is basically either you export it or you just save this as. This is the key. To save this, a copy of this slide, right? You're saving a copy of this slide and you're saving it as a PNG file, right? And we call it whatever we want to call it. We call it Quabena's logo. Remember our scenario, the guy's name is Quabena's logo. Sorry about this, my mouse is not showing up. Okay, just this one. Now, when you export PowerPoint slides as graphics, you can either do that for all the slides, or you can do it for the particular slide where you are on. In this case, we just want to take out this logo, and this is the slide that we want to export. When we do that, of course, you have to be sure where you're saving it. I know where I saved this. 1 minute, minimize this. I know where I saved this, so I can pick it up and just go and show it up to us. I saved this in this path. So you have to be aware, just like if you would save in any other file, you need to know where you're saving the file. So what did we save? We saved Quabena's logo. Let me order by date modified. I can change the look of this so that I can see the preview properly, large icons. Okay. So this is what we created just now, Quabena's logo. Now, in order to show you what I can use this for, I'm going to create a quick Facebook page, and you see what we can use it for. So I'm just going to go to Facebook, and first of all, let me just do a quick check. Okay, fine. Okay, sorry about that. I have children. All right, so I'm going to create a quick page, and if I create a page, typically you would require one of the fundamental things required is a profile photo, and I typically advise that your profile photo should be a logo representing your business, not your face. Okay, so if I do this, I can call it Quabena's food of. Okay, let's just call it the sweet and sour. Sweet and soft. I hope I'm able to do that here. Quabena's food delivery business. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. I've given the name and all that, and category food and drink, or food delivery service. Okay. So when we create the page, sorry about that. What is this? Yeah, it's taken. Yeah, I did this before. Let's name it something else. Sweet and succulent. Right? It doesn't matter. You decide your name. Succulent is that. Okay. Are we together? Okay, good. Okay, come on. My internet is a bit slow today. I moved house and they don't like the place. My internet service provider doesn't like the place. Okay, so I add a profile picture, and I'm going to pick up what I just created now. It's called Quabena's logo. And when I pick it up, it fits nicely into the profile photo, because remember, I made it a square, right? I made it a square, so it fits nicely. That's one of the key things. You need to know the destination of your graphic to know what the dimensions should be. Remember that we made our slide a square slide, the same dimensions, width and height, so that it will fit into the profile photo area of our page. So that's that. Okay, so we save that. We'll come back to do more on our page. So let's look at the next, creating the next graphic. Okay, so any questions so far? You can raise your hand and let me know. Any questions, any confusion, any need for clarification? In fact, if you're so impressed and you want to give me some money, I can also send my account number. All right, fine. So some people have left the meeting. Maybe they're having difficulty, or I am not making a contribution to their lives. That's fine. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a banner. Remember, our Facebook also requires a banner. So we're going to create a banner that will fit into this Facebook page, right? So we're going to do that with the same, with the very same PowerPoint file. This time around, we don't want a square, right? We don't want a square because our banner, in fact, is not a square. The dimensions of a Facebook banner are basically 1640 by 924 pixels. 1640 by 924 pixels. So we're going to do a little bit of a conversion using the tools that I had mentioned earlier. Let me just open it up. So remember that I mentioned three tools at the beginning we're going to be using. This is a pixel converter. So we have 1640 pixels. It's 43.39 centimeters. You save it somewhere. Okay. And then by 94 is 94, 24.4475 centimeters. So these are the dimensions we are going to use for our PowerPoint slide to make sure, excuse me, to make sure that our eventual graphic fits exactly, precisely into that banner area of Facebook or of any social media platform we're using. So if you're using another social media platform, all you have to do is to find out the dimensions that are required, convert them to centimeters, and then you'll be able to know what should fit where. Remember how we change the dimension, the dimensions of this slide. We just go to design and change slide size, customize it, and we use the dimensions that we have picked up here, 43 point this, and likely we're going to have to, round it up to 2 decimal places or 3. It's rounded up to 3 decimal places, but it should be good enough. All right, so we have that. Okay. Yeah, so that's what we have. We have the dimensions we have now. So we're going to now introduce some, maybe we have to get a nice looking picture to fit into this slide. So we'll go over to our other tool, Pexels, and basically pick up a picture that, our other tool, Pexels, basically pick up a picture that will fit the description that we want. This is a nice looking one. And incidentally, it is fruits basically that are here. So we're going to take a swipe at it and use it. You can always experiment, try other pictures, but essentially, yeah. Okay. So we have it downloaded there. Typically, to go to my downloads folder, and I can pick it up from there. Okay. All right. So let's go and pick it up from our downloads folder. Yep. Okay. I can copy this file directly from here and go over to my file, which I was working on. and simply paste it there. When I paste it there, the picture itself shows up. Nice. And I can now, I want this to be a background photo, so I just expand it to fill up the background, essentially. And then I now have to add text to customize it to communicate what I wanted to communicate on my Facebook page. So the name of my company is Sweet and Succulent, right? So that's what I'm going to put in there. If I want, I can pick up a font, a special font that will meet my needs from this other tool which I mentioned at the beginning, from this other tool which is called dafont.com. Dafont.com, I can look at all the nice creative fonts. And if you're doing it for real, you probably want to think through deeply which fonts you want to use. But I'm just going to download this tool, and then, you know, I'm just going to download any tool to use for this purpose. So I'm just going to download this tool here. There are so many of them, so many types. You can search in so many groupings that you can download to use, so many nice looking ones. So typically when you download the font, this is a nice one to capture it, you will have to install it. So I go to where I have downloaded them to, it's my downloads folder. I can just, for the purpose of being organized, I typically want to have them in a particular folder. Maybe I have a folder called fonts on my machine, which is going to help me to get it all organized in a particular place. And let me just order by date, so I have the most recent ones. Then I extract. They are zipped files, so I have to extract them to be able to use them. Extract here. Oh, sorry about that. Extract to folder. I want to be able to identify all of them. So I'm extracting to a specific folder with the same name as the file that I downloaded. Okay. Right. All right. So Titan, for this, I just right click on it and I say install, right? That's it. Right click, install. Installing Titan. Then I do the other one. So when you install these fonts, they are available on your computer for all the applications that depend on fonts. That's basically what happens. Okay. Then okay. So, all right. All right. All right, so we're done with that. We're basically done with that. So once we do that, we are now able to use these fonts in PowerPoint. We're now able to use it. So we go back to our PowerPoint slide. Let's say I may need to restart PowerPoint, but let me just see. I want to type a name. So a normal type, normally to insert text in PowerPoint, I probably need to use a text box. Where's my text box? Insert my text box. I want to put a text there. So I'm going to type soft or sweet rather. I want to change the font face. My fonts should appear here. Let me see. There's a Titan. There's a one that I downloaded that is called Titan. I'm going to look for it. I can just type it here. Titan. So it's not here yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm saving this. I'm going to close this file and open it again. so that the new font that I just installed will reflect. Okay. One minute. Okay. Just give me a minute. Okay. Right. Sorry for that delay. So I hope I'm communicating. Is there any confusion so far? Is there anybody in the meeting? Am I confusing you? Okay, so all right. Do I have a hand up?
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Oh no, just to say you are not confusing. It will just it will take time. It will take time for us to grasp it, so it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Okay, so let me open back my PowerPoint. Yeah. Okay, I hope my fonts have come on, but let me just check. If they have not, I'll use another one just for the purpose of demonstration. Okay, so what I did last was to install certain fonts that I got from dafont.com, and I want to be able to use them in my new banner for Facebook. So I'm going to try that right now. Okay, I have one of them. You can see, remember that I downloaded this. Let me try that. I increase the size a little. Now, okay, I think this is not bad. Then this is not bad. Now, undo. So I have sweet. I like to be able to. I like to create the words as separate text holders so that I can manipulate them as much as I want. So succulent. No, I hope this is the spelling of succulent. I keep mixing the spelling. I'm going to use another font for this, just for that manipulation purpose. Let me look for the Titan. I like the Titan. For some reason, my Titan is not there. Titan is here. Okay, yeah. Then I'm going to now use a cursive text. The Titan doesn't look nice. Okay, it's not bad. I'm going to use a cursive text for the and. So I'm just going to insert another text box and do an and here. And okay. And I'm going to make it much bigger than both of them. Okay, to 150. 150. Okay. 300. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to use Eutemia here. Of course, as you practice, you now begin to get used to the fonts that fit your design, and your creativity comes into play. So I just put I'm just using the because I know that this cursive text will be nice here. Now notice that the background photo is kind of like interfering with the whole text. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in a box here, a rectangular box here, that I'll make it like a shadow behind this text. Now I'm going to use light Okay, now there are two things I can do. I can make this this whole box, I can make it a white box. It's white. Then I set the transparency of the box. Right click on it, you see format shape. Transparency means you want the color, you want to be able to see through, basically. So this is from here. I want to see through this box. So if I want to what extent do I want to see through this box? Let's say 40%. When I see through this box, I can now see my text, but it's not so clear. So what I do is I want to bring my text actually to the front, bring to front. When I bring it to front, it's much clearer because my box, my rectangular box, which I have made a white see-through box, right, has clouded the background picture a little, allowing my text to show up much clearer. I can also decide to, basically change the color. So I can do some nice things with the text as well. I put a shadow in it. I want nicer colors. Maybe I make it sweet. I hope this color is nice. This color is nice, right? And then, I mean, this is all, you can decide what color suits you. I mean, just to make it as nice as possible. Let me pick up another color. Yeah, blue, pick blue, dark blue. Okay. How is this? Okay, not bad. Okay. All right, then finally, what should my and be? What I can do with the and, I'll go to the text, format text. I want to format the text. I want to look at the text outline. So I go, where do I go to check the text? Outline, okay. Shape outline, okay. I can't find that. Okay, let me just make it another color. Okay. What colors? What color will fit here? An orange? No. Let me do a gray. Okay, so for the purpose of demonstrations, we can leave it at that. So what do you think? Is it good enough for a startup business? What do you think? Good. Okay, so one person agrees.
I think it's great.
Great. Okay. So what are we going to do next? Who remembers what we're supposed to do next? We now want this to be a picture. It's still a PowerPoint slide. What do we do next? Mr. Prosper, is Prosper there? Are we together? Mr. Presumera Global Ventures. I didn't, what's the name behind that big company? What are we supposed to do next? The next thing we have to do is to save this slide as a picture. Save a copy as a picture, PNG, and we call it our banner. Now this banner, and do the save as, cancel this, banner K, because I did it before. Once we save that, we should be able to use it on our Facebook page. Remember, we've created a Facebook page, Smith and Sutherland. We does not have a background banner. We edit, do an edit. We do an edit. And we add this background picture there. upload photo. Okay. Okay. All right. I think we would love to do is to create this graphic. We have a similar situation, but the only difference in this case, is that we have some additional items. This is just a rectangle which we introduced here, and then put a text over it with a background color for the shape, which is a blue color. Sorry, fill color for the shape is a blue, and a white border for the shape. That's all we did here. And then these three that you see, if you were here at the beginning, notice when I mentioned the subject of icons, we selected 3 icons that fit the description of what we want to do: the house, the clock, and the calendar. That is from here. Okay. Okay. So the house, the clock, and the calendar. Yeah. So for example, if I want to do a calendar, I can just pick that and insert it as my indicator of a date of an event. So that's how we got all this here. So it's the same concept. Just find out what picture do I need. You can pick a picture locally on your machine or from a free site like Pexels.com. What fonts do I need? How do I make sure my font is visible? How do I make sure that what I want to communicate is clearly there, and so on. So this is basically what we have eventually. And once we save the changes, we have a nice looking social media page. So remember what we set out to do at the beginning was we wanted to create the necessary graphics for this new entrepreneur to represent his global his business, his food delivery business. That's all we set out to do, and we've been able to do at least 2 of those in detailed practice, and I've shown you that these are the basic tricks to do that even when you want to create a banner. If you develop this skill, you can use it for yourself, and for some people they may be able to use it to actually do a business as well. Okay. So any questions so far? Anything confusing? Anything that looks like it's a spiritual thing? It's not physical from this planet. Any questions?
Yeah. Hello.
Any questions so far? It's very quiet today. If it's this quiet, it either means I am too far from communicating, or please go ahead, Felix.
Thanks so much for the.
Go ahead.
Yes, my question is that.
Go ahead, please.
Can you use?
I see your
can
hand
you
up.
create? Can you use the phone to create that, or it must be a laptop? Did you get me, please?
PowerPoint on a laptop. Yes, I did. For this particular, there is another training we have, which is called Simple Technology for Small Business, where we cover the use of Canva. Canva is used to create graphics on the phone quite easily, but PowerPoint gives you a little flexibility, and you can have something quite rich from PowerPoint. But there is the tool called Canva, which a lot of people are aware of, which also you can use on your phone to create graphics like this and more. And Canva has a lot of templates already, which in this, we cover this in a training called Simple Technology for Small Business, which is coming up on the 7th of February, if I'm not mistaken, 7th of February. We have to shift it from 31st.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
I think you have to give us an assignment. Then you know whether we are grabbing it or not.
Of course.
Because right now,
so basically,
we just see what we did, but how will you know whether we've grasped it? It's only by practice and presenting.
Precisely. Yeah. Okay. So the first point I wanted to do is basically, this is a recorded training. So if you also, I will share the recording with us. You watch the recording and try to reproduce the graphics. As you're watching, you're, taking a record. You know that on YouTube, you can even slow down the video. You can make it faster, you can slow down. So I'm going to share the YouTube link, and then you take it and then reproduce what we've done already. And that will basically be your first assignment. And if you feel you have you need more guidance, I can answer 1 or 2 questions over the mail or in probably the feedback portion. Okay? All right.
Okay.
So before we close out, please give me ask you. Yes, is somebody speaking? Is it Uncle Felix? Please go ahead.
No, I was about to ask of the.
Yeah, Prosper. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. I was about to ask of the video because I came in late, so I'll be happy if the video could be made available so that I will go through it and then do the assignment as well. Thank you so much. This simple things, it's not simple though, but I believe it's going to help some of us who love to create and do some things out there on the social media. Thank you so much.
Precisely. All right, yes, I'll share the video latest by tomorrow. Okay, so now a few adverts and then we close out. If you like what you see, I would like you to do something for me. Just go to my Facebook page, write a review of your experience so that other people will probably want to have the same experience. We're going to repeat these trainings and improve on them along the year. So if you like what you see, just go over to facebook.com/Igiri/reviews, write me a review and tell me your experience, and let other people know your experience as well, and we can take it forward. Then I have a simple product which I market to small business owners. It's called this interactive ideation session. All I do in this session is I sit with you for 1.5 hours, one-on-one, and we go through your business using 2 simple models: the SWOT, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and the business model canvas. And we review that business and we come up with a 1-page strategy for you, a 1-page plan that you yourself, we come up with it together. And by the time we go through the models, you will discover that you can break down your idea and your business into more detail and bring out something that is structured, a document that is structured, a video recording that is structured, that you can run with within a year. It costs a little money, but I have an offer too, where if you refer someone to me, I give you 40% of this cost. So that is the primary product that is out there now that is for sale. Every other thing is free. And then finally, this is the schedule for SBITs. So we have done common sense for customer experience. We have done using PowerPoint. The next training is next week, Sunday, social media for small business. In this social media for small business, I basically do is social media training focused on Facebook and show how a small business should be using Facebook to advance their business. It is an introductory training and it's not a paid training. There are other paid trainings that go even deeper, but it's introductory and it's very useful. So if you can make it also register for that. Then I mentioned simple technology for small business. We have shifted it to 7th February because of a training, another program we have on 31st. And if you'd like to participate, also do register with the link. I like the registration because, and when you register for, if you've been here before, once you just register, just say, yes, I've had the training before. The registration is simple. It's like, I know people don't like to fill forms, but the data is very useful to be able to track and follow people up. And then there's also two I have for professionals, which are not for business, but for professionals, particularly IT professionals, career growth strategies in information technology, and making the transition from techie to governance. All right. So those are basically it. Sorry about that. Those are basically 4 of it that I have today. So that is the end of today's presentation. And I'll just like to say thank you very much for attending. And I hope that you enjoyed it and that you would like to attend the next training I have or participate in the interactive ideation session. Thank you. Any last words? Any questions? Any last thoughts? I know some people have not spoken and some people also left along the way. Maybe it wasn't so useful to them. It's not useful for everybody. There's a specific audience. Okay. So that's it for today. If there are no last words in 5 seconds, I'd like to say thank you for attending. And I pray that the Lord will open new doors for you in 2021 and that you will know exactly what you need to do every step of the way. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. All right. Have a great day. Okay. All right, guys.